If you suffer from tendonitis or finger injuries when you're climbing, then this video is for you. And no, the solution is not resting more. I'm going to talk through volume versus intensity climbing, what they are, how they differ, and what I've found has been the best way to approach my climbing to mitigate my tendonitis and remove it for good. So volume training is when you work to a lower RPE, but the number of sessions that you do per week is higher. Intensity training is where you do higher intensity sessions per week, but the number of sessions that you do is lower. I'm going to use an analogy of push-up training to best explain the difference between the two. So let's say I'm focusing on volume training with push-ups. So what I might do for that is 30 push-ups per session, but I would do 5 sessions per week. That would be volume training. If I was doing intensity training for push-ups, I might do 50 push-ups per session. But because I physically exert myself more, I'm very tired, the number of sessions that I do per week was only 2 because of that. So I do 2 sessions a week or 50 push-ups. So the main difference between the two is the number of push-ups that you get done per week. That's what's key here. So for the intensity training, I might get 50 push-ups done per session. So in the session I've done more, but I only manage 2 sessions per week. So across the whole week, I'll only manage 100 push-ups. Whereas the volume training, where I'm doing 30 push-ups per session, I don't get as tired, so I manage to do 5 sessions per week. What that means is that the total number of push-ups that I do in the week is 150. That's 50 more per week than the intensity training. So when you scale the number of push-ups in the week to a year time frame, the total number of push-ups you do in a year with the intensity training will be 5,200. Whereas with the volume training, the total amount you do will be 7,800. That's a difference of 2,600 push-ups per year. Linking this back to climbing, volume training would involve you doing less intense sessions. So maybe you do less powerful moves that are very physically exerting in each of your sessions, so you don't fatigue as much per session. And because of that, you're able to climb more times a week, let's say 4 to 6 times. Whereas intensity training, you'll be pushing yourself very hard every session, doing very powerful moves that are physically exerting repetitively until you get super pumped. And that would be training to a high intensity, but you only manage a few sessions of that a week, maybe 2 or 3. As someone that's experienced tendonitis in many different ways across the different sports that I've played in my time, this is what has been most effective for me in removing that completely. It's also what I believe has most improved my finger strength and my climbing ability over time. If you're struggling with tendonitis or you have finger injuries, you need to reduce the intensity of the sessions that you do, but do more of those sessions per week, i.e. volume training. Tendons are very different to muscles. They need to be exercised very frequently, but they take a lot longer to recover. So if you do very high intensity training, what happens is you exert and flare up your tendons, and because of that, they take a very long time to recover before the next session, much longer than muscles. You won't notice that your tendons are flared up until you then start your next session once again and you feel the tendonitis creep back in. Conversely, what your tendons respond very well to is a lower intensity session where they get stimulated but not aggravated, and then doing that consistently and very frequently across the week. So if you're struggling with your elbow tendonitis, I would recommend that you reduce the intensity of your climbing by 20%, but then increase your number of sessions that you climb up to 4 to 6 times a week if you can. This will work your tendons frequently enough to stimulate them, but not cause them to get aggravated and flare up, causing your tendonitis. As you maintain this volume over a longer time frame, your tendons will slowly but surely get a lot stronger. And what you can start to do as you improve and you strengthen your tendons is you can then slightly increase the intensity of each of your sessions, but you'll maintain the amount of volume that you do. So the volume, the number of sessions per week will remain high, but because you're stronger, you can start to increase steadily and incrementally the amount of intensity that you do with each of your sessions. So if you're struggling with tendonitis, give this a go. Let me know below how you get on with it. I'd love to have a little discussion in the comments, any feedback, what you found from this, how it went for you. But yeah, most importantly, I just hope this relieves any symptoms that you have from your tendonitis and you can climb freely without worrying about it again. Be sure to smash that like button, smash that subscribe button if you found this video helpful. But most importantly, as always, make sure you grab life by the plums, and I will see you in the next one. you.